everyone, in today's video I will be showing you a continuation of my sweater romper video, but in this one I'm going to be showing you how I added my pockets and my snaps at the bottom, and I'm even going to give you a tip at the end on how to do the cinched waist on your serger. Believe it or not, it's possible. So let's just get right into it. Alright, so since this is a continuation of my other video, I'm just going to show you all the pieces that I already have cut. I have my front, back, neck band I'm doing this time, 2 leg bands, 2 sleeve cuffs, 2 sleeves, and then the pocket is here. And I did want to note that I didn't chop off the bottom this time. I just kind of guesstimated, but it should look something like this at the bottom if you're just cutting out the pattern by the way that it was supposed to be. And we are first going to start with the pockets. So for this part, you just need the front piece and the pocket. So I'm just going to get everything else out of the way. I have my front piece here, and this is the pocket. And the first step is to hem it 1/2 inch here. So you just fold in the curve 1/2 inch and fold in this other curve 1/2 inch, you know, where the hands go in. And I'm going to be using my cover stitch today. I know. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't like my sewing machine. So I'm going to use my cover stitch and just hem it 1/2 inch. But if you're using a sewing machine, I would use the lightning bolt stitch or a zigzag stitch, anything for stretchy fabric. This is double brush poly. But again, I'm just going to hem it 1/2 inch and come back. So here is what that looks like. And next, all you need to do is pin it to the front of your romper. Now you're going to need to grab your romper pattern piece. So let me grab that real quick. Okay, so the reason you need this is actually to mark where your thing's gonna go. Sorry, I'm like really cramped in this space. But okay. So you're just gonna line it up to your front piece and find the center point where the cinch line is. Can you even see that? Well, you can't. Okay. Find the center point where the cinch line is. I just have it directly on top of the pattern. Of the piece. We're going to mark it right here, and this is the only time I would recommend using these style of pins. So I'm going to put a pin right there, center front, where the cinched line goes. And then you're going to grab your front pocket. Sorry, this is a very busy print. I just realized it might not be the best for showing you this. But you're just going to grab your pocket and fold it in 1/2 inch as well. And then you're going to center it and then place that where the pin is. And then I'm just going to pin it onto the fabric. I just pricked myself. Don't prick yourself. Okay. And then you do the other side. So do you see how I purposely made this pocket so it would line up? Pattern matching is like next level, y'all, I swear. Okay, so I'm just gonna pin the corner and then fold it to that 1/2 inch line and pin the other side. This pattern matching is giving me life. Sorry, but I realize that you probably cannot see it because it matches so well. I'm sorry. Okay, anyways. And then you're just going to do the same thing with the bottom sides of this. So you're going to fold this in 1/2 inch and lay it on top. I'm hoping you can somewhat tell what I'm doing because this epic pattern matching. And then I'm going to do this corner actually before doing the bottom of it. Cannot get in there. What the heck? Oh, this is my pin that has like some weird glue on the edge, so I need to just throw that one away. Okay. And then we're going to fold the bottom in 1/2 inch as well. And just pin it in place. Again, I don't normally use clips or pins, but for this, it is a must, I would say. Okay, I'm just going to pin it in a few random spots just to make sure it's going well. Okay, and then finally this corner here. So hopefully you can see that. I'm like way off. Okay, there. Okay, now let me grab something. I'm gonna grab these scissors to show you. So now you want to sew across the top. I'm gonna go a little smaller than 1/2 inch, but you can do the 1/2 inch. You're gonna sew across the top like this. And again, sorry, I'm gonna use my cover stitch, but you can also use your sewing machine. Just make sure to, what's the word? When you backspace, you don't backspace on a sewing machine. You know what I mean? Like, make sure to secure the start and end. But I'm going to show you how to do it on the cover stitch to secure your tails in the beginning. And then you're going to do the same thing here with the side. You're going to go bam, down, and then you're going to secure it, and then do the bottom, bam, down, secure it, and then back up. So you don't want to enclose these bad boys here. So I'm at my cover stitch here, and whoops, let me just fix these. And I have my pocket all pinned in, and I'm just gonna slip her right in. Okay, and I'm actually going to start a little bit before, and if you're on your sewing machine, you should start right where the slant is, but I'm going to start this puppy a little bit before. I'm going to use the edge of this to line it up. So let me see, I actually want to start like 1/4 of an inch before, and I'm going to actually take this off. Make sure you're removing your pins, that's really important. I'm going to make sure that everything is lining up with this pattern matching business. Wow, that shaking is so bad, I'm so sorry. Almost done. Oops. Gotta fish this puppy out. Okay. And then we're just gonna go right to the very edge. Oops. Okay, that's okay. And then I'm just gonna lift up my needles. I'm going to hold these two. Sorry, my shadow's in the way. I'm going to hold these two to release the needle threads and pull them out. Then I'm going to lift my presser foot and fish them out and cut them and push towards the back. Yes, I'll get you more juice in a second. And then you just trim these right here. You trim them in the back. Sorry, you couldn't see that. Here's what it's looking like so far, and I'm going to show you how to finish off these threads. We're actually going to fish them out from the back. This is going to be so hard to show you, so I'm going to try my best. But I mean so hard, not because it's a hard thing to do, but because these threads are so small. So you're just going to fish out the needle threads. It's the ones that have the little loops. Fish that one out. This also makes me realize that my vision isn't as good as I thought it was. I'm gonna fish out the other one. Wait, is that it? Just tie these 3 threads. You should have 3, 2 that were the needles, and the other ones that is the looper. And I'm just gonna tie them off to secure, since there isn't a way to secure before you start with your cover stitch. And if you're on your sewing machine, this step you could totally just skip. Like, you don't have to do this on your sewing machine. But I like the look of the cover stitch more, so it's worth it to do this. But anyways, you just tie them off a couple of times, maybe 3 if you're feeling weird. Anyways, okay. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing 3 more times. I'm going to do it for this side. 1, 2, 3, and then the pockets will be done, and then we'll move on to how to do the snaps. So this is what my pocket looks like, and believe it or not, this is my first pocket ever. So I'm actually happy with how it turned out. So, and this is what it looks like in the back, in case you're wondering. Pretty snazzy. And now I'm going to construct the rest of the romper. Please watch my first video if you're wondering how to do that, but we're going to end this video with the snaps, so stay tuned. So the rest of my romper is complete, and I did a neckband version this time. So now you are going to get your leg bands. They are not sewn together. And whoa, okay. My phone has enough battery now. So you're going to get your leg band and you are going to sew it on. You're going to stretch it until it meets to the other side. This is why I prefer to use rib knit or DVP, just because it's super stretchy. But if you want to use other fabrics that aren't as stretchy, I would actually cut the band the exact same size as the leg hole and then just thread some elastic through the middle. That is the length of the leg band, but that's just me. So I'm going to attach both of my leg bands, and then we will get started with how to do the snaps. Okay, so I did have to stretch it quite a bit, but I got it on, and I forgot to say that you are attaching it by taking the band, placing it wrong sides together, and then serging it on like this. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is prep my fabric for my snaps. This is double brush poly, and I didn't see it in the pattern, but I'm going to, they say to serge the edge here, but what I'm going to do is serge a little piece of cotton lycra on it as well. This is going to act as a cushioning for the snaps to really hold in place. Usually you can even use knit interfacing if you have it. I used to have some, but I just like using cotton lycra, or even a cotton woven would be really nice for this. But again, I'm just going to serge on a piece the exact same length as this and about an inch wide. So here is what that looks like, just with the cotton lycra attached. And next I'm going to fold it up and top stitch it down. So it's like this. I think they recommend about an inch wide. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm just going to cover stitch it down. So do that to both sides. So just fold it and cover stitch it down and make sure that everything is laying nicely. With this DVP you can kind of tell it's like trying to get all wrinkly, but hopefully it'll look nice once I top stitch it down, and then we'll get to the snaps. I'm sorry. Okay, so these are the snaps that I use. They are by Camp Snap. It is size 16 extra long. Extra long just helps in case you're going through thicker stuff. So like me, when I do that extra layer of fabric, I want to make sure it goes through all of them. And this is the 6.2 millimeter size, and the color is B3. I just usually get white or like ivory. So again, these are by Camp Snaps, and you have your two different backings, and then you have the actual snap part that you see in the front. So I'm going to grab 6, and what you want to do is do one at a time. So this side is the side that snaps onto this bigger hole. I don't know if you can tell the size difference. This is smaller, this is bigger. So we're going to work on the smaller first. I like to do the smaller one that snaps onto the other one in the front. So I'm going to take the front of my romper. I'm going to find the front. And I'm going to add the snaps on here. So this is what it turned out. Again, like I mentioned, there's a lot of texture going on here. So it came out a little wobbly, but that's okay. This one's for my daughter. So what you want to do is space them out. So what I'm going to do is do one directly in the middle and then work from there. So I'm going to do one in the middle, and I'm going to do it about halfway between the bottom and that. So all I do is I stick one right in there, and I just use my fingers to push it through. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to be working with the smaller one today. The smaller hole first. And then you grab the smooth side and put it in like this. Again, sorry, my stitching is wonky. I shouldn't have serged it on. Anyways, so now that I'm holding it, and the front here, this side, goes into the black. Sorry, I should have mentioned, these are my pliers. They came with Camp Snaps. Usually when you order the snaps, it'll tell you which tools you need for those specific ones. You just place it in there. And again, I'm still holding it. And then It's gonna hard to put it in the camera because I like to place it on the table and then press, but then you just kind of press it. I give it some pumps. Use all your might, and bam, you just did your first snap if you did it along with me, and it's secure in there. So now all I'm going to do is try and space these out. I'm gonna do it like along that section. I forgot what it's called, the seam, sorry. I'm going to do it along the seam. There's a few layers here, so just try to get the other side poked through. I'm just trying to use my nails. Okay. It's coming along. And again, I'm going to use the small circle one. I don't know what these are called. I feel like they have a legitimate name. And then I just pop it in there. Give it a few pumps. Use all your might. Oof! Alright, there you go. There's two. Then I'm going to try and space the other one. These the same way by putting it over here. And again, this is for my daughter, so I'm not like too pressed about how it's going to look. But I feel like this one is not centered, so that's my bad. I can show you how to remove it too. I'm getting like sweaty. This is hard work, y'all. Okay, so again, you just put it in and pump it louder, pump it louder. Ugh. Okay, there you go. Now if you want to remove it, all I do is I just like crush it in there. So I'm not going to do it because again, I don't care, this is for my daughter, but you just like crush it in there. So now I'm going to show you how to get it so it's perfectly aligned with the other side. So now here's our back, and I like to pretend that I'm going to snap it, so I'm going to turn my romper right side out. Intermission, please, as I turn this right side out. Okay. So here it is. Again, I like to pretend like I'm snapping it on. So this would go, I like to do the front on top of the back. So like that. And then all I do is I hold my finger to where it is. And I try to match the back with it. So I'm holding it like this. And I try and like push the back with it. If that makes sense. Like. So once I feel like it's good, now we push it through. So the important part with this is that now this smooth, pretty side is on the back. So you can snap them together. And now we're going to take away our small holes. Don't get them mixed up. And we're going to get our big holes. Again, I wish I knew the names for these. But hey, this is working. Okay. And then again, you just place it on there. Get your handy dandy pliers. And push it in. I'm going to finish the other two off camera. But then I'm going to show you how they snap on. And I really like these cam snap ones because they're easy to snap on and off. Wax on, wax off. Snap on, snap off. Okay, so enough of that. So I'm going to finish the other two off camera. And again, sorry my stitching was a little wonky today, but hey, nobody's perfect. Okay, so I'm all done with the snaps now. Make sure you seal up your baggies if you have these kinds. Or this kind, I mean. And I'm going to show you again. Bam! Snaps for days. So hopefully that helps y'all out. Don't be afraid of snaps. I never do them just because they're kind of time consuming, but don't be afraid of snaps. You can do it. And don't be afraid of pockets either. This was literally my first time and it came out perfect, so y'all can do it too. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye-bye. So as a bonus to this video, I'm going to show, well, I'm not going to show you, I'm going to explain to you how to serge on your cinched your cinched elastic. So pretend that this is sewn at the inside. I just tied it for being quick. And what you're going to do is mark your cinched line in the back of the romper, meaning on the wrong side of the fabric. So mark the cinched line. You just mark it with a pen or anything washable. Then you're going to make sure that your elastic has the 4 markings on every 4 equal parts, meaning you have the center back, center front, and then center left and right. And then all you're going to do is, ideally you wouldn't have the crotch sewn together. So all you're going to do is, again, make sure that you have your cinch line marked, and then you're going to grab your elastic and sew it like this in the serger. So you would feed it like this into your serger, and making sure that you are, 1, stretching the elastic where it needs to go, and 2, making sure that it's getting enclosed. So I would only use really small elastic for this to make sure that the serger stitches cover it. Sorry for getting interrupted again. But so again, you just make sure that you are, like I said, stretching the elastic. So what I would do is hold it here and then have your elastic, and making sure that you're stretching it and moving it towards the seam or whatever side you're working on. But again, that's just a little tip to do the elastic if you're, 1, afraid of it, or I don't know. I just thought that everything on the serger is really easy. So I just wanted to let you all know about that in case you don't want to use your sewing machine, or you don't have a sewing machine, or you don't have a cover stitch, and you just have your serger. It is possible. So that is it for this video.